Hi, everybody. It's Wendy from Roselight Astrology. I wanted to just create this recording. Currently, we are in the penumbral lunar eclipse. It started at 11:15 a.m. today, May 5th, and it goes to 12:22 p.m. today. So it's not a real long one. It's only about an hour, and penumbral eclipses aren't as intense as total lunar eclipses. So we can be grateful for that since we have so many other things going on in general. So actually, according to my chart here, it's not even exact yet. So here's the moon at 13 Scorpio. Here's the sun at 14. So we have about a minute to go before it is exact. So that's the first aspect that the moon makes. It makes this opposition to the sun in Taurus as a full moon. And it's an eclipse because it's on the nodal axis, which is right here. So this is the south node in Scorpio and the north node in Taurus here. So what makes an eclipse is when they happen next to the nodes. Astrologically, it's when they intersect with the nodes. And it happens twice a year, every 6 months. We had the first eclipse 2 weeks ago, which was the solar eclipse in Aries, which was really dramatic and very, very powerful. And meaning there was so much light pouring in from that eclipse. And now here we are in the Scorpio. We're at the tail end of this eclipse season in Scorpio. It's the last eclipse in Scorpio for a couple years. Actually 18. So this takes us back 18 years to like 2002, 2003, what was happening in your life at that time. And the South Node in particular is about letting go. And in Scorpio, it's highlighted to let go. And then we have the moon in Scorpio, which is more letting go. So maybe there was a relationship patterns that we have with our own dynamics about loss and betrayal, which is part of the Scorpio theme: sex, death, magic, and taxes, basically. But Scorpio really can represent loss and or real extreme betrayals and violence and death. And when we don't get to process those deep layers, and it can also rule secrets, all the water signs have some level of secrets, especially Pisces and Scorpio, or Scorpio, especially like bones in the closet, things that have been swept under the rug, secrets that come out, deeper truths that come out into the collective. So if there's layers of that in our own psyche, in our own past that we haven't dealt with, typically what happens is we internalize it and have a pattern of self-hatred, abuse, basically. Typically can be with food or sex. Some people get into cutting and all those levels of extremes. Or it can turn into projecting it onto other people and becoming violent. So there are all those themes in the Scorpio realm, but Scorpio is really about merging with a sense of power, a power symbol, and it rules symbol, and like tattoos, and even this symbol that I've got, this circle around this symbol here, these are all symbols, and merging with something that represents these empowering or powerful symbols, so that you can merge with them and become more powerful yourself. And that's where it can get very messy, and we need good boundaries and all of that, because, merging sex, right? Or merging energetically. And, Scorpio also represents the vampire, the succubus, like, when we don't have enough of our own core power going on and alignment, then, and if we've been abused or depleted as children, we tend to create those patterns. And until you go through an empowerment path where you dismantle those patterns and align with your true core self, there can be confusion and imbalance and things get messy. But Scorpio also rules marriage and sex, right? And money. You're merging money, you're merging your bodies, you're merging fluids, and you're living together, you're cohabitating, you're using the bathroom together. This is all Scorpio realm. Okay. So it's very deep and the wounds can be painful sometimes. A lot of times. Taurus, on the other hand, the North Node in Taurus up here, the Sun in Taurus, we have Mercury retrograde in Taurus, which I'll get to, but the North Node in Taurus, Taurus is about stability and taking what has been initiated and stabilizing it. It's looking for stabilization and valuing, self-valuing, and so that it can enjoy the pleasures of life and connecting with the earth and other people and nutrients and beauty and depth, like fantastic fungi and mushrooms that are creating this whole sheath of communication and connection under the earth, right? We're talking about practical earth Taurus, and Taurus can be very stubborn, doesn't want to change. All the fixed signs can be very fixed. You know, they don't really want to change, but they're trying to, they're there to stabilize. So sometimes we're overgrounded and we don't know how to let go enough. But this Taurus eclipse, it's really a Scorpio eclipse, but the North Node in Taurus is asking us to self-value. And I'll share a little of my own experience with that this morning. So as the eclipse was coming and I was thinking about and feeling pattern with a past relationship, someone who I've cared about for a long, long time in this life, like, 30 some years. And we haven't been together for like 5 years now, but the theme keeps coming around and I can feel him thinking about me or connecting with me. And then I think about him. And it happened when I was in Florida, like, wow, it'd been so nice if we could have worked it, if it would have worked out and we could be together, blah, blah, blah. And, but it never feels like I'm happy in my heart, right? Like there's still this lingering pattern that kind of brings me down rather than Wendy, Leo, happy, joyful, coming out person, So as I was sitting this morning and meditating, and I just said, if this was a really good scenario for me and this person was mature enough emotionally, which is really critical in a healthy relationship, especially for an empath or somebody that's really awakened, this person would contact me and we would have a healthy conversation, but that never happens. It's always, am I going to call this person? So I was like, no, I'm choosing me. I'm choosing my own self-worth, Taurus, and that I can claim my own destiny right now around this, and I can send him blessings and love. And I am really grateful and I will always love him in my heart. And I wish him well, but we've been doing this dance like back and forth the last 10 years and really 33 years, but especially the last 10 years of, current life stuff. And I deserve a really good, fun, healthy relationship, right? Especially with myself and how I correlate to Taurus. And where is Taurus? Because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is about relating. It's about our bodies. It's about our self-value. Taurus is in my 12th house. So for me, it's always merging with the divine. Love in my life is always about the divine on some level, connecting with what is in the unseen realm and really honoring that so I can really fulfill what I came here to do. That might be a little vague, but anyway, so hopefully that gives you some sense of Taurus. And now this Mercury retrograde in the eclipse season, everybody I know is talking about being tired, really tired. And the energy can be heavy and thick, right? Because this is a very wet Scorpio water. We've got Neptune in Pisces, we've got Saturn in Pisces, we've got Mars in Cancer. All three water signs are ignited right now. So that feels heavy and full. At the same time, we have the Mercury that went retrograde and Pluto went retrograde this past Monday. And the retrogrades slow us down. They're asking us to take the time to rest. Taurus, like, just nurture yourself and give your mind and your body time to unwind. There's been so much happening in the collective. And so that's what this Taurus theme is asking. It's also, we're looking at money, we're looking at relationships, we're looking at all the things that we value. Is my life in alignment with my own values? And if not, what do I need to do to change it? This is not a mental thing. Don't get mental about it. Just let yourself keep unwinding. And I'll show you when Mercury goes direct. So because we have all this Taurus here. So now this moon is going to move forward. Just move it an hour. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Okay, here we are back to current. It moved a little bit because now we're at 11:34. So an hour is right here. Now the moon is at 14. And then in another hour, 2, 3. So this afternoon, the moon's going to be opposing Uranus, and that's pretty intense and electric. So just know that's 7:34 p.m. tonight. There could be some kind of shock or like information that comes through that's shocking. So just take it easy. Give yourself time to integrate, release, honor this pure, beautiful light that's pouring in. I can see it through my window. When the eclipses are here, it's like the rays from the planets are more poignant there. You can see it and feel it. The veil in the cosmos is opening, and it's very permeable. So just know that you might have some big emotional awareness about something could come through. So it's a good time to chill out. And so the moon is making that aspect right after the eclipse. And then what it's going to do a couple hours later, we're getting into tomorrow. Let's see. Right here, this is tomorrow morning. This is Friday night, 10:30. The moon trines Mars. That's very nice aspect. It trines Neptune. So this is a good day to chill out. If you have a partner and you're in a good space, this is a great place to get together and have some juicy, beautiful, nurturing, healing, sexy time. So that is really nice. So, or plant your seeds for what your emotional body is wanting and needing, and how you can honor that as the eclipse stage sets forth the next 6 months. Lunar eclipses affect 6 months ahead of time, or then 6 months into the future. So where these planets land in your chart, what are they calling you to? And if you know your chart, you have a better understanding of what that means for you. Okay, so if we keep moving forward, the other thing I want to show you, let's just move here. Yep, the moon this is Saturday morning, it's 3 a.m. Let's get to the daytime. This is all Eastern time, USA. Okay, here's the moon. It's separating from this Mars trine. It's going into a full trine with Neptune. So all of Saturday can be very dreamy, spacey. Just allow it, allow your dream time and your letting go to unfold into the weekend if you need to. All right, let me get to. So what I want to show you here. So Mars, if you remember my past recordings, Mars was retrograde for a long time. It started last October. And then it was in what we call out of bounds. It was so far away from the sun, which you can't see in this chart. It has to do with the degrees that it's at and the sign that it's in. Mars finally went back into bounds yesterday. So no more Mars out of bounds. Thank God. I have seen so much random violence. It's been really weird and really intense. And so just know that we're still riding through this eclipse and there's still some kind of radical energy building, but Mars is out of bounds and that's a really good thing. Now, what I want to show you, just move this ahead, daytime. This is about the May transits. Okay, so we've got Mars building to a square with Jupiter. Jupiter expands things. It's still in Aries. The ruler of this Jupiter, this expansion, is Mars in Cancer. And Mars in Cancer is not the easiest placement. Cancer is about comfort and family and protecting and attachments, right? It can be overly attached. Mars in a water sign, Mars is ruled by fire. Mars in this heavy water sign is a very kind of serious, committed, attaching dynamic, which can be really supportive and grounding and all of that, but it can be over grounding, over attaching, overbearing. And when we look at it collectively, Cancer rules our homeland. And if we're talking about the USA and flaring dynamics, we've got attitudes, actions, violence, resentment. Like Cancer can be a lot of resentment that builds, it doesn't express themselves. And then a lot of explosion happens. So Mars is squaring Eris here, which is the sister of Mars. And she's really helping us break down the status quo dynamics in the collective, the top down disempowerment, excluding the feminine from the collective. And she's just working on these dynamics, and she moves very slowly. So she'll be here at 24 for a long time. Anyway, Jupiter and Mars are coming into a square, and then they're going to make a T-square to Pluto. So let me get to that. Because as Jupiter goes forward, see here, it's at 29 degrees, which is touching into that solar eclipse that happened at 29 degrees. So it's highlighting that. And now right here, okay, this is May 17th. So the reason I'm sharing this is, so we're through the eclipse. Mercury moves forward, I think like on the 14th of May. A few days later, and here comes the moon right back on that eclipse point. It's with Jupiter. Jupiter's now at 0 Taurus. It's squaring Pluto, and Mars is coming into an exact opposition to Pluto and an exact square to Jupiter. So just know that some of these dynamics in the collective that we've been dealing with all this time, right? Gun violence, violence in general, people not dealing with, we have a lot of constipation in this country, emotional constipation, and just not being able to really let go. There's a lot of old crap that still coming to the surface. So that's unfolding with this dynamic. And so this is a Wednesday, and let's see, Mars is exact here on the 21st, as we move into moving towards Memorial Day. And then, so Jupiter's still there. This is very exacting. So just take it easy, pay attention, all the things I always say. And then we're into Gemini season, right? We have Gemini starting, and that's lighter and then Mars moves into Leo. So those two, the air and fire, it's a lot lighter, and that's going to bring a little bit of ease. It'll bring more fun, and a lot of, well, it's like we go through air and fire, then we go into water and earth, then we go back to air and fire, then we go back to water and earth, and we go back and forth as we go through as all the planets move through the different signs, and as the sun moves through each archetype every month, there's always this dancing, changing going on. And as we understand the elements that we're dealing with and the archetypal influences or what they represent, the more empowered we can be, so that we're not just adrift to the cosmic temperature and not really knowing what it means. We just know that things are kind of lit up. So there's all of that. And so that Mars in Leo will be nice. Venus is in Cancer, and going through all the points, it's out of bounds. I'm not going to talk about that now, but it's not going to be the same as Mars. Mars out of bounds. Mars is like aggression, violence, accidents. Venus is money, relationships, overcaring in Cancer, boundaries. What do we need to take care of ourselves, our family? It's all of those themes. So, meaning you might need extra boundaries to be extra mindful during this time. And I'll make another video about that. Let me just go back to today. Here we are today. Mars is in Cancer. Okay, so what was I going to say? Anything else here? I don't think so. Let's just, I don't remember. I thought I was going to say something else here. So, okay, I know. I was going to look at when Mercury goes direct. So here's Venus goes into Cancer on this Sunday, and Mercury goes direct right there. So sometime on Sunday, the 14th, it goes direct. This is 11 a.m. If I move it to hours. There. So it goes direct overnight in the US here. Okay, so this is 10:45 p.m. Sunday the 14th, which is Mother's Day. And by close to midnight, 11:45, it's direct, and then it moves through its shadow period. So it's got to move through, let's see, 1, 2, it's got to go, where's Mercury? It's right here, 7. So when a planet goes direct, it's most powerful when it stations retrograde or direct, and then it takes time for its speed to build up speed to its normal moving speed. I'm pretty sure it went direct retrograde right here. So by the end of May, it'll be out of the shadow period. So just know that, things will start moving on the 14th, which is great, or the 15th, but that it takes a little time to kind of build up. And yeah. All right. So more will be revealed. Happy lunar eclipse releasing and blessing. And remember everything I said about Scorpio here. Scorpio is a healer. Scorpio is about deep healing ultimately, right? Because we have the underworld and all the hidden psychological dynamics that many people don't want to deal with. And then if we have the courage to embrace that, so if we just talk about the relationship between Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus, if we have the courage to do the deep work, Scorpio, and access our inner light, our inner child, our radiant self, Leo, and we have something to give to the collective, which Pluto and Aquarius is demanding. It's going to demand that from us. And then we have also something to give back to the earth, right? If we think about composting, and Scorpio is all about composting, if we do it in a good, healthy way. And we're really letting go, we're recycling that deep, heavy energy. We can give back to the earth, we can compost it to the earth, we can regenerate, which is the Scorpio theme, regeneration. And we have something positive to utilize on an earth level, because we are here on the earth plane. So, so the underworld, Scorpio stuff, doing the deeper work. And then what happens is we rise up out of the ashes from that deep transformation place into the phoenix. And the phoenix becomes the eagle, and the eagle becomes the dove. So if you're just floating around in eagle land and you're not doing the deeper work, you're missing out on all of your real transformative power that actually allows the eagle to fly, to expand even higher, to access the peace level of the dove, of the highest level of Scorpio. So there's different layers and levels of consciousness when we're talking about Scorpio. Okay, the last thing I'm going to say. So Pluto's retrograde now, it's in Aquarius. It's going to move back into Capricorn. And I think like June 3rd or something. Here we go. Yeah, June 11th. Pluto moves into Capricorn. So we're back, we're out of the air and we're back into Earth. So we have all these dynamics. I'm not going to get into this. Forget it. We'll just end it right here. I'll do this next time because right now we have enough to process. And we'll just stay right here and just integrate what I've shared. I'll make another one about Pluto. Not a big deal. Blessed eclipse, everyone. And we're at Beltane. We're in between the equinox and the solstice. So we're halfway to the summer solstice. So many blessings. I'm really glad it's spring here and the flowers are starting to come up and it's warming up. Sacred blessings, everyone.